Today I'm going to share with you how I'm traveling currently in Greece for 2 months working just 5 hours a week. And here's how. Are you familiar with the book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss? He wrote a book that helped people with productivity, how to automate tasks, and how to create a lifestyle that allows you with more freedom in both your work and your personal life. After I worked in the restaurant business for 18 years, working all over the United States, and I was working between 50 and 70 hours a week managing restaurants. I knew that I didn't want that lifestyle anymore, and hitting close to the age of 40, I decided to start my life over. I moved to Florida, and I was bankrupt and broken with $700 to my name, but I knew that I wanted to figure out a lifestyle that I wasn't gonna have to work as many hours, and I was gonna be able to live the life that I wanted to live. So, approaching the age of 40, I actually got my real estate license pretty reluctantly at first, but I figured out if I got my real estate license and I figured out how to do it, that I might be able to leverage a team in real estate where I wouldn't have to work with buyers and sellers, and I could create a business. And that's exactly what I did. So the first thing I did is I hired a coach, and I worked really, really hard, 2 jobs for the first couple years. I worked in the restaurant, and I then also was learning real estate, because in real estate you really only have to go to real estate school for a week to get your license, so you aren't taught very much there. But after I hired a coach, I worked with buyers and sellers for the first couple years, and once I figured out how to work with buyers and sellers really well, I wanted to hire my first assistant, which my first assistant was a virtual assistant, a marketing assistant. So I hired a marketing assistant that could help me implement different marketing things. So I was still the strategic person that had to figure out the marketing, but the actual virtual assistant was able to implement everything for me. They were able to do logos, flyers, email signatures. They were able to do tracking. They were able to edit videos like this one, do my social media. I needed to make sure that I eliminated anything in my real estate business first that I didn't need. And then I needed to automate things like emails, like my CRM, like my follow-ups. Working with my marketing assistant, that freed up my time so I could do more sales and work on the business more, to figure it all out and work with my coach. My second hire was a general administrative assistant. And that general administrative assistant was also a virtual assistant, because I knew that I could hire them, they wouldn't cost me as much money, and I felt that if I figured it out, that I could really build out a virtual assistant team for my entire business. And because I wanted to be able to work when I wanted to work, I figured that that was going to be very helpful for me, which it is today. The first thing I did is write down everything that I did for an entire week. So I wrote a list about every 15 minutes for an entire week and figured out the things that I really didn't need to do, the things that weren't money productive, and the things that I could pay a lot lesser amount of money to, so that I could focus on the things that were going to make the most amount of money in the business. But I also knew that I needed to automate it as well. They were able to create templates with me. They were able to call people back. They were able to help me with personal things in my life, such as reservations, making doctor's appointments. They were also able to help me with bookkeeping and QuickBooks. A general administrative assistant was also able to help me with listing management. They were able to help me with transaction coordination, so taking a contract to close. They were able to help me with writing up listing agreements, doing research. So I was able to give them so many different tasks that helped my entire business. And it freed up 80 hours of my time, which was awesome. So then I could really work on lead generation, because I knew that if I had enough leads, an overflow of leads that I absolutely couldn't handle, that I would be able to hire my first sales agent, and then the sales agent would be able to work with buyers. So that would free up a ton of my time. I hired Craig Proctor. Craig had worked for Remax for many, many years, and he was the #1 Remax agent for like 10 years. So he built out his entire team and shared how to do that. So I was just pretty much, copying those things to build out my team. The other thing I was able to do, I was able to use Loom or Zoom to record everything that I did to use for training a marketing assistant and a general administrative assistant. And they could help me create SOPs for every single thing that they were doing. So then every time we would get busier and busier, I could just build it out. And I always made sure that before I would hire somebody else, that my profit was high enough to do that. But what I was doing is I was very strategic in how I was building it out to make sure I was freeing up more time and hiring the right people to train. So then I hired 2 sales agents that were able to work with buyers, and because I had an overflow of leads, and so the sales agents I could make appointments for. So I hired next and inside salesperson that's all they did is make appointment after appointment after appointment with the leads I was creating through the marketing assistant, and then the general administrative assistant was handling all the general administrative tasks. So now I have a couple sales agents, I have the marketing person, I have now a general administrative assistant, and now I have an inside sales agent. I'm still making appointments for the agents, but I'm only working with the best leads to make those appointments. Then I was able to start stepping away from actually working with sellers and listings, because now I knew that if I didn't have to work with the listings and I could train somebody to do that, that now I've freed up working with any type of buyers or sellers, and now I'm building an actual business. And that's what I did. So I worked with a coach and was building out the entire business so that now I could work less and less in the business. But what I could focus on first is recruiting, training all my people, and I was able to focus on lead generation and marketing and inside sales. The rest of the stuff I was able to pretty much give to the rest of the team. What I learned along the way is to create a system for everything that I did more than once, to eliminate anything that I didn't really need, to automate anything that I possibly could, and to track everything within the business so I could figure out what was working and do more of it, and what wasn't working and eliminate it. And really, really making sure that I wasn't just hiring people so I didn't have to work, but hiring them when I could actually afford it. I made sure that I followed a system of how much profit that I needed to make before I could hire somebody else. I wasn't just hiring salespeople, I actually was hiring salespeople when I had an overflow of appointments. You know, Tim Ferriss in his book, he really emphasizes the 80-20 rule, that 80% of your results come from 20% of your work, which I really found out along the way, and that's the stuff that I really focused on. He then discussed really outsourcing and the key strategies to outsource. And that's when I started hiring virtual assistants and found out, you know what, if I am going to be working less and less, I can do it virtually, and I can work with the virtual assistants from anywhere in the world. And that's how I built the business. So everybody that works for all of our businesses is virtual. So currently being in Greece for 2 months, I'm able to work 5 hours a week, because what's happening is my virtual team, I have a COO that I meet with every single week to find out any of the issues that she's having or anything that she needs my help with. And that's 1 hour a week, and she's able to run the rest of the business. I'm given reports every single week on where we're at in marketing, how many leads we got in, how many appointments that we made. I'm looking at where our best lead sources are, what kind of marketing are we doing from week to week, where are we at. I'm looking at the sales reports every week and how many new inquiries we have or how many sales we're making, and really looking at those things. And so with doing all of that, I'm working the 5 hours a week while I'm traveling all over Greece. We just are building a place in Naxos, Greece, and so that we're going to be able to work, or I'm going to be able to enjoy life more, which is really what I'm looking to do. You know, I really had to define what I wanted and maximize efficiency. By leveraging technology and really building out the businesses and the team as I wanted, I was able to first take 3 weeks off and travel, and then now I'm able to take 2 months off. You know, we use a lot of different apps and tools to automate things in our business and to utilize things in our business to make it more efficient and effective. We use QuickBooks and accounting software. We also use Bamboo HR for our VAs, for our virtual assistants. We pay our virtual assistants through Wise, which is a great tool for us. We also have Slack for communication. We also use Asana for project management. We also have RingCentral for making calls out. We use Loom and Zoom both for communication and training purposes. We also use Dropbox. There's a lot of other tools that we use in our business, but if you're looking to really enjoy and travel and still do really well with your business, I recommend that you figure out exactly what your vision is and how you're going to get there. So it didn't happen overnight. It took several years to really plan this out. If you're looking to figure out how to do this and how to work 5 hours a week and systems and processes and hiring virtual assistants and what you need to do to hire virtual assistants and what we've done, follow my journey, because I'm going to share this along the way and you aren't going to want to miss all the videos that I'm making to help you run your business just 5 hours a week. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.